Hey everyone, what's up? For this video my mic was muted. I didn't actually have it enabled sort of thing. So unfortunately this game has literally no voice in it, so I can't explain everything that's going on. But this is Against the Storm, a rogue light city builder. So every city you start will be a different city start sort of thing. You'll have different citizens, you'll have different buildings, you have different layouts, you have different events going on, different resources, everything like that. The whole point is you build a city. When you start off, when you choose a location, each location is different. You start off by choosing what caravan you want. So that is a place. You choose what civilians you want, or citizens you want in that place, or villagers or residents, whatever you call them. They carry different resources with them as you go in. You can choose a few different resources to take with you, up to the number of available points you have. You also have difficulty settings. You have different modifiers for the storm, different amount of fertile soil, all this. Anyway, right now I'm not watching the gameplay. I do apologize for that. It would be better if I watched it. The whole point in this game is, once you get into the game itself, you need to build woodcut camps. You need to build different facilities, different ways to keep food. You gotta keep fuel up because you need to keep this hearth up, which repels the storm itself, as the storm is a dangerous thing in this world. So you get the basic things up, but as you go, you gain what's known as reputation. Reputation can be earned via different ways. It's via the Queen's orders, because you're working for a Queen. You are Viceroy. You are here to manage all these cities to help out the Queen, who is the only one who can repel the storm and keep all the citizens safe. Anyway, you'd get rep by doing orders from the Queen, which are all randomly generated from what I've seen so far. None of them has been the same that much. They all go up in difficulty as you get further along in your game. You can get rep also from making sure you have what's called high resolve with a specific race. You do have different races in this. I'll go with that later. But as you gain rep, you also unlock different building. I'm trying to think what they're called now. Blueprints. You start off with the option of choosing 3 different blueprints from a set of. I have 4 unlocked now for every set. They can include they are all different random buildings. They can include buildings which can make more useful items, building farms for instance, upgraded camps so they actually can harvest better resources, or bigger resources I should say, really. But yeah, you also have the Queen's Impatience. If that ever fills up, it is game over for your village. So that you want to keep that down by doing her orders or gaining rep in other ways. So there is other ways of getting the Queen's Impatience down, I believe, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. No, I do. I think I've done them. You also have other things such as hostility to the forest itself. The forest is alive. It's a thing, sort of thing. A storm's hostility, a forest hostility. I can't remember what it's actually called now. I just know it says hostility. It goes up via the number of villages you have, the number of years you spent there. The number of woodcutters you have is a big impact. Queen's Impatience actually lowers hostility, as well as your hearth as you upgrade it via placing decorations, placing more housing. It upgrades as well, but you can only go so far to begin with. Trying to think what else. Queen's Impatience, different orders, blueprints, rep. Alright, races, might as well go over them. In this game, at the moment, there are 4 races. One is to be unlocked, so the only ones you start off with is humans, lizardmen, and beavers. Each race have specific needs to help boost their resolve. Resolve goes under 0, they'll think about leaving. There's a little timer that goes down. Once that timer hits 0, one of those people from that race will leave. The objective, keep their resolve above 0 if possible, if you want workers. If you've got plenty of them, don't worry about losing a few every now and then. There's actually some buffs which you'll get, which I'll explain a bit, which actually give you resources when a worker or citizen or whoever you call them leaves or dies. At this moment in time, I had none die. I've just had some leave. Anyway, each race has their own special needs. They can involve just normal shelter, their Pacific shelter, different types of complex food, different types of complex resources such as clothing, even education, leisure, religion are some of the other things you can do. Each of them require different resources to keep up. Clothing is from you just turn fabric to clothes via another building. Complex food can be something like turning wheat to flour, from flour to biscuits. Heck, you can even make ale, but ale gets used in specific buildings, which then gives you the leisure, I think, for certain races, such as beavers love their ale, so humans, I believe. So all them will boost up your resolve number, and if you get high enough, you go into high resolve, which would then generate you passive reputation points. Which the whole thing about this is get reputation up to max, you win the village. Anyway, there's let's see, the other things I can think of off the top of my head that I haven't got unlocked yet anyway are the cycles of the storm. You have drizzle, clearance, storm. Drizzle activates the positive effects modifiers, which is those green ones up there. Clearance has no modifiers. Storm is the one where it activates all negative modifiers. That includes like just the basic one, which lowers the global resolve of all your races. Anyway, sorry, I forgot to mention races have something they're good at. Humans like plants, lizards like the heat, beavers like the wood. So you put beavers in woodcutters, they'll get a chance of getting the wood from trees, or materials from trees I should say, because you do get other materials from them. You get humans, if you put them on farms, they're better at farming. You put lizardmen in a hive, it ups the global resolve of everyone since they know how to tend the fire. You put them in a bakery because they know how to handle the heat and cook the food, all this. Anyway, sorry about that. Back to what I was saying, storm, all that. Okay, I've just mentioned that. Let's see. Here's a patient. Sorry, yes, glades. That's the only thing I don't think I've mentioned. You need to cut down trees to expand your area, but you also need to go out and venture into what's called glades. There are smaller, non-lethal, non-dangerous glades, which just hold a few resources. Then you have what's called the dangerous glades, marked by a skull and they're a lot bigger. In these, there are a few events. They always hold one danger event, and the rest of the events can be something like camps to help get you more people, or caches which hold resources. Each of them you can choose to take or to send to the queen for amber, which is a currency you can use in trading, and reputation points. The dangerous events can be literally from anything from a passive effect to an effect that goes off after every 10 minutes. I normally play times 3, so it's kind of so I have a bit more urgency, which I shouldn't do. I should really lower the speed sometimes. Each of them with all the different effects. To settle these events, you need to spend certain resources, from makeshift tools to incense to even just planks. As you send people door, they'll have working events, which means that while people are working on them, a specific thing will happen while they're working on it, such as hostility points increase every 30 seconds while working, or something like that. Throughout the entire thing, you'll gain resources, or this managed food, or the half. The half you have to keep fueled with different fuel resources, which is wood, oil, coal, and sea marrow. One thing you can do once you upgrade to the next level, you can sacrifice materials to lower the hostility down by certain on, but the materials, it's like depending on the materials, like 40 per minute. So playing on times 3, you can just see that number tick down every single second. It's quite nerve-wracking when you have like high hostility. Your resolve on your people is low. you literally have to keep an eye manage on your resources quite well. I have run out of food a couple of times. I even ran out of fuel at one point, which was devastating. All my people wanted to leave. I couldn't even chop down wood at one point because of reasons. But anyway, that's mostly gameplay. Afterwards, you gain a set of resources depending on where you built the city: food, machinery, and I can't remember what the one's called. You'll mostly gain food. Each of them can be spent in the Grand City. I really can't remember. But anyway, you can upgrade certain things. You can have it so each upgrade also comes with maybe a few passives or even unlockable. In later games, I have unlocked the ability to trade with other cities I've built. I've unlocked factions. I've unlocked harpies. I've unlocked new starting resources, new blueprints. Oh yeah, the one thing I actually didn't mention, cornerstones. It might have already happened by now, but cornerstones are passives which could do different objects, such as one cornerstone gives you 30 food for every time a villager leaves or die. Another one is gain amber every time a new villager comes in. I'm trying to think of others, but I can't think of others at the moment. You've probably seen some already. You also get new villagers as your time goes on, which you can select from 2 different sets. Each of them comes with 3 resources, different villagers, all this. Upgrades, you got these, which give you XP, maybe even a few blueprints, depending on which ones you go to unlock. There's different difficulties, each of them do different things, such as Pioneer, the one I'm on, just takes longer to do. Later on, you'll get what's called Blight Rot, which I haven't actually done yet, so I can't tell you anything about that. I think that's literally all there is to explain the game, so hopefully I haven't gone over my time, and there's some gameplay left for you to look at, of me panicking and trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing next. Anyway, this is Against the Storm. I got a few videos coming out, and I hope you enjoy them.
Monday.